Welcome back to the 2022 first edition of Heavy Muscle Radio. We're here live. I'm joined by Lee Priest, and we'll see who else stops by today. Lee, yes. I know you guys have gotten your New Year's off earlier than we did, a day early. So you kind of ruined it for me when you sent me that text message saying Happy New Year.
Yes, I had ours early, but all I want to say is I woke up on the New Year's Day and I got a pinched nerve. You know when it's right in your scapula and it feels bruised?
Oh,
so the last two nights, last night was the worst, where you get that numbness down your arm and the pain, and your fingers, you can barely close them. And it's all going down my arm. So nothing's changed.
Neck injury? You think that's a neck injury issue?
I think so. I said, look, since I had that neck operation, it's gone to shit. It's gone worse. And then I figured, Dave's going to be on the show today. I said to my wife, 3:00. I said, I'll tell him I'm ready. The Dave goes 15 minutes. And then it's now 3:47 from 3:00. I said, I said 2022, nothing's fucking changed.
You know what? I actually was ready at 10:15. You know, we were starting at 11. And here's what happened. So we come back. We went to Sushi, my wife and my 3 kids and I. And we went to this restaurant in Fort Myers, and we drove back. And so I got the kids upstairs. I got them in bed. I gave them iPads. I said, "Here, you can this way get them in bed early, so I can do the radio show on time." Right? Everything's going great, and my wife says, "I just got this notification. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but evidently, if someone what they're doing here in the U.S., I don't know if they're doing it in Australia. Is people will put like a tracking device, those little iPhone or I forget what they call it. They're like from Apple. They make these little things.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them. Yeah.
You can track your device.
You can put them on pets or your kids or anything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So my wife had just read about earlier that people are just putting them on people's cars and shit like that.
Stalking them. Yeah.
So she gets this notification to her phone. I didn't get it on my phone saying that, you know, there's an unknown tracking device within range. And it shows from the restaurant all the way back to the house. So now she's, you know, thinking something's on our car, you know, or something like that. So I got to go.
They said that's how people find them, because people have put them in. Like, say you're a guy at a bar and you like a girl, they slip them into their handbag,
right? And
then when they've got home, like they said, their phone gets a notification, and then they can like hear it. So they actually found it that way because it tells them or something.
Well, they can find out where you are, but the number one, I'm like an open book, so you can find my house anytime. Second, number two, I have nothing to steal in my house whatsoever. I mean, there's literally nothing like what are you gonna steal? A TV from me? I mean, who gives a shit? I have no money in the house, so I don't even know what anyone would want to rob. And number three, no one robs you while you're home. You know what I mean? And we're always home because of this COVID bullshit. We work from the house.
Well, did you ever think, Dave? What? They might not only want to rob you, but they might want to rape you.
There you go. That's true. They might want
they can't do that if you're not home, Dave.
Now I got to get Jimmy to move in, right? It's for protection,
for security.
My security force.
Yeah, I've seen those things. They showed him here because when they first came in here, it looks like one of those big silver batteries things. It's just like a flat little round thing.
They're tiny. But they're like $25 each. I don't know when people could play jokes on people. You know what I mean? Like, but no one knew. I just was in the sushi bar unless someone like recognized me. I mean, I don't know why. And it wasn't like I had my fancy car there. I had like my Honda minivan there. So I don't know. You know, I did my you ever watch that show 24? Remember the 24 with
Yeah, that was great. I loved that. Kiefer
Sutherland. I love that show too. I did my sweep of the car. You know, I was like checking the wheel wells.
Yeah, you got your wife's mirror going under the car, the torch looking.
Exactly.
But the thing is, though, check your clothes or your wife's handbag. Maybe they slipped it on you.
I did. You know, I have the pockets with a million pockets on me, but I think the fact that it didn't show up on my phone.
Did your kid have a toy? Did your kid have a toy though, and they put it in the kid's toy?
Yeah, my kid's in that. The only toys my kids.
Maybe your kid just saw it sitting there and goes, "Oh, what's that?"
They each have that. We had 3 iPads and another iPhone with us. That's what they were watching the whole time in the restaurant. Now, I don't think anyone slipped us anything, to be honest. I think our phone's malfunctioning, but whatever. So I'm doing that, and then I get in here and I'm like, oh, all right, of course I'm now behind. So I set up the microphone system and it's not working, and I don't know who did it. I don't want to blame anyone. I don't know if it's Tyler or my son or it wasn't me. There's like a little switch on the receiver that I use for my microphone, and it's a mute button. I don't know why they have a mute button there, but I guess this way, if you go to the bathroom and you want to turn your microphone off. I didn't touch this thing. It must have been muted. I couldn't figure out why the microphones weren't working. I'm going crazy because I'm a techie guy. Like I can get things to work. Right?
Well, I'm just excited to know that here we are live for the first show. We could see a home invasion live while we're on air.
That's true. So if I have to leave, if I get a text from luckily I have these 2 little dogs. They're like this big. One's a Maltese, one's a Yorkie.
But they're very alert dogs, are they?
Yeah, they're the biggest fuck. My wife's always complaining about how loud they get if they hear a pee-pee noise. I said, now we got a burglar alarm there for you. They start beeping.
Someone has a question, Dave. Someone has a question.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
What's Biden's?
Oh, here it is. It's bodybuilding. Any advice for divorce for the new year trying to get through one? Well, since I've been married 5 times.
That, yeah, exactly.
Now, with divorce, try and make it amicable. Don't fight over stupid shit. Be like me. I just walked away, took my clothes and my trophies and things I had and left. There's no use arguing over stupid shit because the longer you drag it out, if there's lawyers involved, they love it. They'll be reaping the money. So the lawyer's going to get the money. She'll get the money. And you'll get your T-shirt and your dick in your hand. So if you can sort it out, look, you can have hate, yes, and it's going to be nasty if one cheat. I don't know why you divorced, could be cheating, could be whatever, but don't bring that into it. Just separate. It's happened. There's no use crying over spilt milk. Just try and walk away and just be, it's going to hurt. Sure, if you've been in love and shit, it's going to hurt and stuff like that. But you know what? There's no use dwelling on it anymore. It's only going to eat you up inside and make you angry. Then you do and say shit that you don't really want to do. So just cut it fresh, walk away and hold your head high and just breathe and start again.
I'll give you a good story. Actually, I was divorced once too. So, but when my wife and I broke up, and it was my fault because
you're an asshole. Huh?
So my wife's in the house, like at the time, and she won't get out. But she can't really afford to live there. So I'm like, I'm going crazy. And so I'm at I remember this distinctly. I was at the BMW dealership. And the woman who was my saleswoman, she was like an older woman, but she was a good-looking older woman. She was like in her 50s, but, silver hair. But she was like, listen. And I was complaining to her. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't want this to get ugly. She's like, let me tell you something. If you wanted to leave the house, I said, yes. She's like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to get her own apartment. You're going to pay for it for a year. You're going to pay for whatever she wants, her health insurance for a year. Give her whatever she wants. Get her out of there. It doesn't matter. She's like, because she'll never leave, and it's going to cost you way more if you don't get her out of that house, and you'll never get back in there. And you know what? It was a brilliant move. That's exactly what I did. I said, you know what? I know we're on bad terms now, but I'm going to pay for your apartment for a whole year. I'll pay the rent up front. You pick the apartment out as long as it's not crazy. And I'm going to pay your car insurance and your health insurance and all that, and you keep the car that you have. And you know what? It worked out very amicably. And to this day, but
not even money. When you're in that situation where you aren't in love anymore and there's that tension, just the stress on your health and how you feel inside when you come home, and that environment is not good for you, just physically and mentally.
But you know what? If you guys are if you're on good terms in terms of like working it out, like on the same team type of thing. Even though you're not going to be together anymore, it's a lot. I found that it took a burden off my back. Like I felt a lot more at ease.
Which one of you is getting divorced?
no, I'm just answering a question. Somebody asked the question.
We're all happy. First of all, Lee can't get divorced because his wife will kill him already. He already made that.
This guy said he's going through the crazy part of it now.
Yeah.
I feel I'm going through the crazy phase. What to do? Lots of ups and downs. Just focus on you. The divorce is going to happen, so there's no use trying to be, you're going to get back together. There's no use getting nasty because, as I said, she'll win and the lawyers are going to win. So just try and, whatever's happened. You're getting a divorce now. The divorce is coming. Just look past that now. The divorce is coming. There's no use trying to fight it or put it off or get angry about it or call each other names and that sort of shit because you're going to get nowhere. Just start looking past it. Just think, okay, we're doing this. And then just start planning. Take notes. Think about what you want to do now. Move on. Yes, like I said, if you're in love, it's going to hurt and shit like that. Sure, but being angry over it and doing stuff that's just going to eat you up inside and make you bitter. So just move on.
Happy New Year from Ruba to Michael Road.
Wait, I want to add something to what Lee just said. Okay, one thing I've learned from being divorced so many times is that our cases are not special. We may think we have the most unique, incredibly specific case in the entire world, and RX is the most unique model monster ever made. And it's just not true. The legal system, your attorney, the judge you're standing in front of, they've all seen you 100 times before. The same deal. So whether you want to make a big mess out of it and do stupid shit you're going to pay for anyway in the long run, it doesn't make any difference. You're going to get what you're going to get. It's standard. It's pretty much standard for kids' visitation, for alimony, for child support. All of that shit is standard. And your case is going to be adjudicated fairly, and that's what you're going to get, and that's all there is to it. And so it sucks. You should have made a better choice.
John, you know what I always tell people too?
2020.
Let the girl have $1 more than you in the divorce. You know what I mean? Have her be 51 to your 49, what you get, because you could always make more. If she thinks she got over on you, it's going to make the relationship way more amicable, especially if you have kids or something like that.
If there's kids involved, it's a whole other story.
Dave, if she's a good-looking woman and got a snatch, she's making more than us. Come on, Jesus Christ.
No, but
Jesus.
You always have to make sure that
she might make. Let's say you're making 60,000 and she's making 40,000. You're making 60, she's making 40. If she's a good-looking woman with a snatch, she ain't spending that 40. Drinks are free, meals are free, cars are free. She doesn't have to spend her money. So it all works out in the end. That's why women don't get paid as much as men. We get paid more because we're going to pay for your fucking shit just to get a root.
There you go.
And they get maternity leave too.
That's true.
Oh. Do you like my name, John? That's my new name on here today. Do you see it?
Florida.
You know what, John?
I
you make a very good point.
Dave,
I'll get to Florona in a minute. Hold on. I'll get to Florona in a minute.
That's a good one, John. You're going to love Florona.
You know, you make a good point, John. Now, everyone wants to be even. There's no sexes anymore. Everyone's gender neutral, and you know, there's binary. There's all these things. How come if women get, maternity leave, shouldn't men get equal? Shouldn't it be like equal opportunity type of thing?
Pete Buttigieg did. He got maternity.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And then there's the case of the two men suing the hospital because he can't breastfeed his baby.
I want to have a baby, Reg. You want to what? I want to have a baby. Where are you going to keep the fetus? In a box? The Life of Brian. What a great movie. And by the way, people, I want you to know it's the new year. I don't know what Dave's sitting there, but after all the stuff I ate I think I put on almost 10 kilos now since Christmas. I must say this has been helping me.
I got to send you some more stuff too.
And this too. Oh, start the new year off right.
Oh, that's right. I did give you that. I did send you. Okay, I thought I did. Okay.
Wait a minute. Were you going to send me some more? No, you didn't. You didn't send me anything. What are you going to send me, Dave?
John, it's funny because I love sending Lee stuff because he's very appreciative and I know he likes using the best quality products.
And it works.
The problem is that no matter what I send him, it's like $1,000 to ship it to Australia because there's no more UPS there, or no, there's no more U.S. Postal Office there. One of those two, they did away with it, so you have to send it like UPS. It's like a fucking crazy amount of money, but
wow,
we don't care.
Dave, you cannot put a price on my health. Okay,
you're right. Lee and I have a secret project too. We're not going to talk about it though yet. But
wait till that one. This could be a big one, John.
Yeah,
could
be a big one. I want to answer this one question before we get to.
We're gonna get married.
Yeah. We're getting divorced and getting married.
Yeah.
And we want maternity.
John, the Florona thing. You got to bring up the thing for John because John needs.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just say, I got to answer this one question for this one person because it's a good question. Someone said, when I downsized, did I ever consider going back to long distance running? And to answer the question is, when I was in my process of downsizing, that's when I tore my quad and I really wasn't able to run anymore. So I did start cycling for a while, and I got really obsessed with cycling, like to the point where I was like cycling with like the best cyclers out there, on that Jones.
You've been cycling forever.
Then
Jones Beach Loop.
Yeah, the Jones Beach Loop. And then I found out that I had an arrhythmia when I exercised at this crazy high level. So I figured, you know what? I don't want to be that guy that drops dead on the bike, with a heart attack. So I just don't do it anymore. But
what
the truth is? The point that what I want to make is that we're so trained in our brain to have to be the best at everything we do that it's we almost can't do anything athletic that's enjoyable anymore, right? Because I can't just cycle because I want to go ride a bike and have fun. I have to like be at an elite level where I'm pushing my body or I feel like I'm not getting anything out of it. And that's like my mentality in everything I do. Like whether I'm playing chess or checkers or volleyball at the beach, I can't. I have a problem like that. And I guess that I'm like an overachiever in that sense. But do you guys ever experience that, like where you just feel like if you're gonna do something, you have to do like it at a high level?
Since I've been doing the boxing, right? It's funny because the guys I spar are probably like 120 kilos, and they're all 6 foot something, so they've got a longer reach. So I just go at them, and after because we do like 3-minute rounds, but we only get 30 seconds break.
Right.
And these guys after 4 rounds are like, Neville, he's like the coach. Tell Lee to fuck off. He's like a fly or a mosquito. He just keeps coming at us because I don't let up. I just keep.
You're just doing it for like exercise.
Him.
Now you're trying to like box, like you're going to go into the ring, like against Mike Tyson.
I got him tied up in the corner, and they're standing there after round. They're like, when I fight the bigger guys, we sort of punch a bit. We step back. They go, Lee's just like a fucking thing. He just keeps coming after us around the ring. I just keep chasing him because I'm doing it for cardio too. So I just keep moving.
Let me ask
you. And the bigger guys are like,
Lee, would you fight Mike Tyson for the right amount of money?
Of course, it'd have to be the right amount. I'd say no less than $5 million, and I come to the conclusion.
What about $2.5 million? Would you do for $2.5 million?
No, because I've established my medical bills are going to be at least $1 million. So I need money to live off. So I'm thinking $1 million for my medical bills, brain damage, reconstruction on the face, and then whatever's left after that, I can live on.
There might not be anything left after that, Lee.
Yeah, so
hold on, let me see. All right. So now Lee has Florona. Did you hear about that, John?
Yeah, no, I have not heard about this yet.
Okay.
Oh, you'll hear about it soon. It's coming your way.
Oh, is it? Is this the new?
Florona is some pregnant woman in Israel got coronavirus and the flu at the same time.
That's the combination.
They're calling it Florona.
She got 2 flus.
Yeah. Now I don't know if that's is that something to be rewarded? I don't know. It almost seems like I mean, what's the big fucking deal? I mean, all right.
Well, that shows
if you get a
sore
throat on top of that,
the flu shot don't work.
If you get strep throat on top of Florona, is that like I don't know.
Well, say if you get AIDS, on top of that, or STD or something.
Is that from the Babylon Bee?
No, that's from I was on the Channel 9 news here.
So it's actually true.
Yeah, it's in Israel.
It's on the news.
It's not some.
The funny thing, John, is that the Israelis are all vaccinated, right?
They're under their 4th shot. I think they're under their 4th.
4 coming. You know,
it says it all there. If you read it there, it's got all the info how she got it.
One of the people I was partying with over the weekend was a nurse, and she told me that the majority of COVID patients that they're seeing now in the hospital are fully vaccinated.
The same as in Australia.
Yeah,
there's other people here in Australia. Our numbers went up.
The 4th vaccine they're up to in Israel already.
Yeah.
Well, our numbers went up just the other day by a couple of thousand because if you had corona, you couldn't go to the hospital. So these people were tested. They've had their double vaccinated and booster, but they've just been going in like over the weekend. Say they went out partying, drunk, or one broken arm, or this sort of shit. So they've gone in feeling good. So they go in, but they've got to do the quick test. And they've all been testing positive, and they're like, I didn't even know I had it. I was just coming in for a broken arm, and now I got bloody Omicron.
Well, there's 5,000 new cases in Israel of COVID in one day on Friday, but they're all vaccinated 4 times there.
Right. So good. It's a great vaccine, isn't it?
We went from 10,000.
It's not that we're against vaccines, John. That the fucking thing doesn't work.
Dave, imagine if you got polio after being triple vaccinated. Imagine if you got 3 polio shots within 6 months and you still got polio. Imagine that.
Oh, look at Mr. Wonderful's asking a question on there. Who's Mr. Wonderful asking that question, Dave, on the thing?
No,
I plead the 5th. I plead the 5th.
Sponsor Lee. Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. Possible. Who knows what the new year may bring?
Yeah.
Yeah, but all these people.
I have a lot of clients who have COVID now. A lot of my nutrition guys, bodybuilders and stuff like that. I'm shocked at how many. I mean, like a lot. Like, I think this Omicron variety, they figured, you know what? Not enough people are getting it, and people are not getting as scared anymore. We better increase the transmissibility of the stuff. Otherwise, people are going to say, you know what? This is a bullshit. You know, so I think
it is. Once you get Omicron, it's nothing.
No, but John, it's like it's like a new version of the Apple iPhone. It's like, let's put a new version out because the old version just isn't cutting it anymore. We got to like freshen things up a little bit, you know.
Yeah, it's like putting out the new Apple iPhone with 30 times less memory.
But you're getting 20% more people to buy it, though. That's the problem. That's what they want.
And less cameras.
Mr. Hazard, our health minister, said
they're just trying to sell vaccines. So if more people get this thing, more people are going to go get vaccinated, even though it doesn't work. You know, that's the whole scare.
Well, the thing is, our health minister said we're going to hit 25,000 cases a day by the end of January.
You guys aren't even allowed to leave the house. How is anyone getting COVID over there?
Well, 3 days ago, where I live in New South Wales, it was 10,000 overnight. It was 21,000.
No one's allowed to come in there. They quarantine you in a hotel for 2 weeks. No one's allowed to leave there. They don't let you back.
They're all triple vaccinated.
You can only go to the supermarket. There must be an awful lot of COVID.
Wait. On top of that,
summertime.
Vaccinated. They're all wearing masks. Can't go anywhere. Can't
even walk outside for more than an hour.
So I guess what the impetus
is spreading it.
Well, I mean,
no. Jimmy would say that the chemtrails, they're dropping it on top of you.
The overriding bottom line philosophy is what you said before: buy the vaccine. Everybody thinks the vaccine is free. Johnson & Johnson and Moderna are not giving away the vaccine. Okay, they're not giving it away. They are charging for it. Right. Who's paying for it? Taxpayers, insurance companies, COVID relief bills, all of that shit is money designed to go to the drug companies. The drug companies then take that money, they pay lobbyists, they pay payoffs, they pay all the shit, they move it around because the regular flu influenza virus vaccine costs $75. Conservatively, what would you guesstimate is the COVID vaccine, considering
double that?
At least, right? Or let's just say $100. Okay. Triple for everybody in the world, 7 billion people need 3 shots. That's the mentality.
Now they're going for a fourth,
right. And if not a fourth. So you're talking trillions of dollars. Yeah. It's an insane amount of money. Yep. So, and that's just this one vaccine. They're going to have 30 of them before if they're able to pull this off.
Look at this statistic. Someone just told me Australia bought 250 million dosages for
125 million. Canada did the same thing. I mean, with 30 million people in Canada, they bought 600 million or 60.
Well, we can't even keep the
6 times.
John, the funny thing is, we come out with these new varieties. They got Omicron, Delta, Gamma, whatever. And you know what? They're giving the same vaccine.
They're going to come out with chocolate chip cookie dough soon.
No, but John, they're giving this. The vaccine hasn't changed. You're just like, take another one. But,
take another one.
Wait a minute. There's a new variety.
Well,
then you tweak the vaccine a little bit.
But the influenza virus is modified every year to keep up with the
COVID vaccine.
No,
and like I said, they made us wear masks here again to go to the shopping centers and stuff. And I don't put long. People give dirty looks and abuse you, but I'm like, when's enough? Because you've had 3 shots now. When are we going to start living our life and just live with it? You say you get a 4th shot. I still got to wear a mask. What? I'm going to have to wear the mask forever, am I? It's just ridiculous. It's like, take the fucking thing off. And on Facebook here in Australia every day, here's today's numbers. So many cases in this town. And people are like, oh, my God, I can't believe we've got 10 more cases in my town. The anxiety. It's like people just sit there and wait for these stupid numbers to come out every day. I'm like, get a life.
I'm glad we're at this point because there is a relevance to bodybuilding here. John, if I see one show this year in 2022 where anyone has a mask on stage, I want them to remove the sanction, pull the sanction. No, if you can't have the show wherever you're holding it, whatever country, and they won't, you can't. The news people are not wearing masks on TV. You can't have a mask on stage. I don't want to see masks because you know what? Your face is relevant to the body. I don't care what anyone says.
Absolutely.
I know John would have saw this, Dave wouldn't have, but Remember AOC, how she says DeSantis is a murderer and this not wearing the mask and that?
Right.
I saw AOC's having a nice time in Florida without her mask on, holidaying.
In Miami, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
How many doses did Blackman take, you think, John? Someone wants to know.
It depends if there's a suppository version.
Yes. And who put it there?
J&J.
Yeah, he did. He recommends J&J because he owns.
No, I don't take J&J or Pfizer. I've heard this new one, rectal semen. It's really good for you. Get it daily dose.
You think he's?
If
I don't even know
if my rectum's a bit sore, I take it under the tongue.
No, he did. He had
ivermectin.
No, he had a
Ivermectin,
video.
John.
He had a video. He was on somebody's podcast.
Oh, he was.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about J&J. You're right.
Yeah, he recommends. He the magazine.
That was before the clotting issue came out,
Right.
John. You know how wishy-washy he is. He probably
He was on with Ron Harris. It was Ron Harris, wasn't it? He was on talking to Ron.
$20 million worth of Johnson & Johnson stock.
Oh, he does?
Of course he does.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing that then.
Someone said my ego equals death. I don't have an ego. I have no ego.
You know what?
Trust me.
I don't really think the vaccine is killing people. I just think it's ineffective.
It's ineffective. Wait a second.
The vaccine simulates what happens a lot of times with actual COVID in terms of the clotting issues. So you should make sure you're at least taking baby aspirin, or I prefer fish oil, like a high dose of fish oil, like what we have in Omega Lives, because that'll prevent the clotting right there. I promise you that. So there is a side effect of the vaccine, just like there's a side effect of getting COVID. For some reason, there is a clotting issue, but I don't think the vaccine is necessarily dangerous other than that.
Well, the idiocy in the vaccine is that now we're supposed to permit science to prove negatives because they're saying if you get vaccinated, and you still get COVID, then your symptoms won't be as bad.
Right.
How do they know? Where's the study that says that there's an actual scientific proof that says that you won't get something as bad? Where else in the science can you prove a negative?
Right. There's no way to. It's
so you mean if you take the vaccine. If you take the vaccine, you won't get it as bad and get sick like the majority of people that get it who are healthy and don't get sick and get it bad.
Right. You're going to be infinitely better off having been
than the healthy person.
But
even here, the ones that are vaxxed here and got the booster, they're still dying. But again, it comes on. An elderly lady today died, 94, underlying problems. It's like anything's going to kill them. They're all still morbidly obese, or they got some other disease, and this has killed them. The common cold would probably kill them, or too much sugar in their coffee would kill them at that stage in their life. But they're like, oh, we can't believe it, 94. I'm thinking, oh my God, yes, 94. I said it before. She had a whole life ahead of us. She probably wanted to have children, get a job. Who knows?
The woke liberals in Hollywood are beside themselves right now because Betty White.
I was going to say Betty White died. I know.
Yeah, but not of COVID.
No. Yeah, like it would have mattered.
They'll slide that in there somewhere.
Right. Yeah, but they can't say it. Betty, you even got Betty White.
3 weeks to go till she was 100. She almost made it.
I know.
I actually think that, I actually think that 99 sounds better than 100. I got to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like a bigger
you like
number.
Get Smart?
I'll take 100.
Because you like Maxwell Smart and you like Agent 99.
Movie, TV show, whatever.
Golden Girls. But she was pretty funny in Lake Placid because she swore a lot. Anytime you get an old actress that swears and says fuck or just swears, it's just funny.
It is.
Did you see that movie? Speaking of movies, Just Look Up.
I haven't watched it, no, but someone said Jimmy was going to watch it. I was just talking to Jimmy not long ago. Jimmy said he started to watch it, then he stopped. But Jimmy's brother told him, you got to watch it, Jimmy, because there's like a hidden message in it, and they're talking about Biden and that. So Jimmy was going to go home to bed and watch it.
I found it very funny. It's a little slapsticky, but it's not meant to be taken seriously. But I got to tell you, I love Kate Blanchett. She, you know who she is? She can play
She's an Aussie.
The Elven Queen in the Lord of the Rings, and then she can play like the newscaster in that movie. She's the most versatile actress. She's like, and Meryl Streep obviously in the movie too. They're both of them. they could play any part, and you wouldn't even know it was the same actress. That's how good they are. You know.
Yep.
Very, very funny movie.
She's Australian. That's why you like her, Dave.
Is she Australian? I like her.
I think so. Isn't Kate Blanchett Australian? I think so.
No idea.
You know what? She could look, and Meryl Streep was like this too. They could look hideous in like one movie, and then they could look gorgeous. Like, and they're not both. Yeah. They're both not good-looking women. Like, you know,
no,
but they
know
how to change themselves and morph themselves. And I don't know how.
It's easy. You look at the movie. The ones that look hideous in it's low budget, no makeup. The ones that look good in, they got makeup on.
No,
it's quite simple.
They're like shapeshifters.
Well, look at what's the name? Well, look at Charlize Theron when she played in that movie Monster.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
When she played the serial killer, look how bad they made her look in that one.
What's his name? What's that actor's name? The comedian from the weed movies. What's his name? That's Seth Rogen, the other kid. You know what I'm talking about?
James Franco.
No, yeah, the other one. They always were all in the movies together. He's in the movie. He plays Meryl Streep's son. He's like she's the president, and he's the the guy who runs the whole White House there, chief of staff. He's so funny.
Jimmy was explaining to me.
You'll love the movie because I know that.
But Jimmy was on the phone, explained it to him. I knew who it was, but I was trying to let Jimmy tell me. Jimmy was like, "Oh, who's that in it? That fucker's in it. What's his name? What's his name? Oh, I can see him. Leonardo da Vinci. That's it. Leonardo da Vinci." I said, "Oh, you mean
he's great? He's great in that movie." But
I said, "You mean Leonardo DiCaprio? That's it." Jimmy's at home watching the movie. Someone's asking, "Where's Jimmy?" He's at home watching the Up movie.
I called Jimmy on Christmas. He never called me back.
No?
Batman. I am retaining water boxing Batman. I put on 10 kilos since Christmas. Before I come on here, I just had a whole big handful of chocolate-covered peanuts and some Rocky Road and an apple, because the apple helps clean your teeth after eating all that.
You have to have the
It's got to be balanced, John. You got to have a bit of...
It was like Dave eating the salad at McDonald's.
And I went past this. Now, once I start something, I can't stop.
Jonah Hill, that's what I was thinking of. Jonah Hill.
Yeah, we have a milkshake bar here. It's been open since 1957, but they make the good milkshakes with the proper ice cream. And I mean, it's like great. Really? I said to my wife the other day, I feel like a Blue Haven milkshake. I don't know what flavor it is. It's just called Blue Haven, and it's blue, and I love it. I used to have it all the time when I was little. I went and got one the other day. I've been back every day since. And the good thing is, I laugh because I say, "Can I have the non-fat milk?"
Now we know why you gained 10 kilos.
Right.
As soon as I start drinking milk, I get puffy. But yeah, so he puts in the non-fat milk, but then I watch he goes over the soft serve and ice cream machine, and he fills it full of ice cream. I'm like, what's the point of the non-fat milk? But I don't tell him to stop. I just let him go, and he makes me the milkshake. It's really nice.
There's a place here called Cookout. They make like 37 different kinds of shakes.
Oh, they're good, aren't they?
They make the best burgers.
My cats are going, I watched that show. I didn't really like it.
Which one?
The cat said that?
No, the one that says Encounters or whatever it is. I think I watched that one.
Oh.
Hey, did you guys hear
Victor Richards is dead?
Tanya Knight has cancer.
Yes, nasal.
Nasal. In her sinuses?
Yeah, sinus, yeah.
I'm going to call her tomorrow.
She's got to get chemo. I texted her. She didn't even respond. I don't know if she changed her number or what, but
I think she says she's been tired and sleeping a lot from the...
She's on chemo and radiation. She's got to start, I guess.
Wow.
It's like what?
My uncle, he's got cancer in his nose.
What a terrible year of bad news. You got to send some prayers.
My uncle's got it in his nose right now. He's got cancer in his nose,
Who does?
in his ear, and up here. My uncle, and they said they could cut it off, but they would have had to remove his whole nose and have an open hole where they put a plastic one thing on that. But he's on these medications, but he's in lots of pain. But they can't really do anything for him. So.
That's sad. We love Tanya, though. I mean, someone should start a GoFundMe for her, really, and so we can help her out. Because she's a great girl.
She's a legend.
Yeah.
It's a weird place, isn't it? Sinus.
I've never heard of that, honestly, before.
You know,
is that rare?
It sounds rare, right?
Yeah. I've never heard of anybody getting that.
I mean, Greg had that. Valentino had the cancer of the throat there.
Oh, right.
But that was, he said, you know what his reason is why he got that?
Eating dirty
women.
Going down on cheap women.
But that's actually true. I've actually read that. I've read that in studies. Yeah, I've read that in studies. Men can get it, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? When you get old, stuff happens to people. It's scary.
If you live long enough, everybody around you is going to die.
I watched him. Oh, he has this for a program. I was talking to this guy who works at a chemist, and he watched the program. I forget the guy. He had a book. He had cancer, and he was trying to work out. You know, they say everyone has cancer in their body. It just takes something to set it off and set it off. So he went and spoke to, let's just say, 100 people, and he just asked them what happened in their life to make them get cancer. And out of all these 100 people, it came down that 18 months. Like, say they're going through something stressful. Say they could be going through divorcing, had to be stressful, but then something in that divorce just went crazy and like it was super stressful. And they said from the 18-month mark, nearly with every person, from the 18 months is when the cancer really boomed and it became detectable. And that's when they found out they had it. But out of 100 people, all of them, if they went back, they said something bad and like super stressful happened 18 months before prior.
Oh, really?
That's weird, isn't it?
4 divorces, and I still don't have cancer. So
it wasn't that stressful. You might be like me going, "Fuck, I'm out of here!" Woo! That's what killed the cancer. See, if he stayed.
I saw that he turned 55. Wow.
Yeah, the
55.
December.
Yep. I'm still older than all of you fuckers.
I think, John, I think he was kidnapped in Mexico, to be honest with you, because he was supposed to be on the show.
He looks young in that picture. That picture looks like a little boy.
We both look young.
But look at Chris. He looks like a little kid out of high school or college with a haircut. Look at him. He looks so young.
I think he had that shirt from when he was in high school too, to be honest with you. But he was in Mexico at Playa del Carmen there,
right?
And he had to go back. I guess he's leaving Tuesday morning, so he had to go back to Cancun to get tested for COVID before he can fly back. So he had to go back a day early. So that he went back today, and then he had to find some crazy hotel, at the last minute. And evidently, there's some kind of like rave party going on 18 floors beneath him. He said the whole building is shaking, and it sounds like he's at a rock concert. So that's why he couldn't do the radio show. I don't know if that was an excuse.
They love raves there. but I don't know. Playa del Carmen is so close to Cancun that
I don't. It sounds a little weird, but I guess he wanted to make sure he got the
very convoluted.
Somebody asked about.
I asked, why would you go to Mexico during the middle of a pandemic? It just doesn't sound like necessarily the best place to go, but.
I just got to answer someone about the Butterfield one. Actually, Butterfield contacted me. He's a comedian that lives in my town here. Very funny comedian, the Buttsman. He always gets cancelled. He's on Netflix and that too. But he asked me to go on his podcast last year, but then all the Corona stuff happened. So
yeah,
I'd like to go on his podcast. He has some good people on there.
Why is this guy asking how Gaspari found out his cardiac CT calcium score? His fucking doctor told him.
The doctor told him.
What's so mysterious about that?
He took $100 CT,
$60
score. $60.
You can go walk into any radiology place and just ask for it. You don't even have to. You don't even have to have a prescription for the CT calcium.
Here we do. Here in Australia, you got to get a referral from the doctor for everything you go.
Yeah, here you do here too. You can't walk into a lab here and get.
It's just a money maker, isn't it? You got to go back to the
calcium. You can do that though.
You can.
Let people know. Yes, you do not need a prescription for that. If you're going to pay cash, $60, whatever it is.
So you can just go in a LabCorp and get it done.
You got to go someplace where they have a CT machine that does the CT scan. You got to go to a radiology place.
I have to go to a freaking cardiologist. On Tuesday I go.
Oh, why? Are you just scared?
Well, I'm getting the what you told me to get, the what do you call it, with contrast, to see the cardiac CT scan,
the calcium angiogram. It's called
right. Calcium angiogram.
Paul Gretsch. Anytime Fitness Mayfield. Normally about 7:30. Someone asked, they're traveling through Newcastle, what gym do I train at and what time? Hey, you two, if I disappear after this date and time,
no one will ever see you leave. No one goes that early in the morning. I can't even believe it's open, the gym, that early in the morning.
It's 24 hours. I went there. It's been great the last few days. There's been nobody. I mean, nobody there. They're all sleeping in from the holidays. It's great.
I wonder why. You should just open the gym in the morning. They should just give you the key.
Yeah, it's key. 24 hours. You just swipe and go in. No one's there.
That's where I go to the same kind of gym, 24 hours.
Yeah. And I go in, I put ABBA on, the Village people on. That's great.
And it's about a mile, not even a mile and a half from my house. It's so close.
So you walk there for cardio, and then
I have
train.
many times. Yep.
You ever do that sometimes? You think, oh, it'll be great. You walk there, you do whatever. Then you think, oh, fuck, I got to walk home.
That's the thing. You train legs and then you got back.
I used to do that when I go walking around the
Bob
beach.
Paris has come on the show. Bob Paris won't come on the show.
I can walk around the beach where I live here, then you can see the beach, and I go all the way up to this hill. But then from that hill, I can see the road, and all the way back, I've got to go. I'm like, fuck, that's a long way.
Maybe you could get
Bob
walking
Paris somewhere
on the show for us.
Me, I get on good with Bob.
He does. For some reason, he doesn't want to come on. He won't come on any shows. I don't know why. He's like, I don't know. He's like mad at the body. You know how like Casey Viator was mad at the bodybuilding world?
The angry bodybuilder.
He lost to Arnold that year.
But Mike Menser killed him eventually.
Yeah. Bob and I always
Paris
good here. He called in there. He brought me a bottle of wine when I was living on Rose.
I mean, Lee, all the gay bodybuilders seem to love you. Chris Dickerson loved you too, right?
My father being gay, Ted Dixon. It's like
I'm this
conduit.
I don't think
I'm a conduit. I'm a conduit between straight and gay people.
I don't think it had anything to do with your
together.
I think they just liked you, Lee, because you were a young boy there in Gold's Venice.
Well, it's not gay, is it? If you're gay and like you do something to them, that's not gay, is it? That's just like getting it out of the system. Because if you're not with them and you never think about being gay or doing gay shit, then you're not gay. But if say driving down the road together, it's a long road trip, you're getting bored, you're getting horny, and he reaches over and gives you a reach around. But then once you drop him off home, you never think about getting the reach around from a guy again until you go on another trip 6 months later. You go, hey, we're going down that long road. That's not gay. That's just like, it's there, it's convenient, you make do.
Kind of like Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Lee. If you had to go to jail for say 5 or 6 years, Aaron and PJ are facing the 5 or 6 year prison.
I'll be raping all the twinks.
I was gonna
donkey punching him in the back of the head.
I was just gonna oh, you'd be doing the raping. You wouldn't be doing any receiving though, no?
Oh, I might give it a go once in a while and get tired. I might have a bad hip one night and I can't.
He's too honest, John. He's way too honest.
You find somebody he really likes.
Yeah.
5 years is a long time.
I could find my soul. I could find my soulmate.
5 years is longer than most of our marriages lasted.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a tight relationship there.
And we might get on good. We might train together. We might like the same foods. And if we get out, we can still train together, swap clothes and T-shirts. And he'll probably like cars and I'll like cars.
Go on long walks together around the yard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
5 years of bliss.
Yeah.
So this is going to be reality for them, like very soon, like this month, right?
Yeah. I think Aaron, because he had that boating while intoxicated charge, so it was theoretically a violation, I guess, of the bail that he had set for him to this, after pleading guilty stuff. But I guess they had a hearing, and he's going through rehab and some other stuff, so that he get revoked. But I think he's being sentenced on the 27th of this month, both of them.
So is he going? The question is, when people go to rehab, when the rehab is a condition of freedom, okay, are they really going to rehab, or are they just going to rehab?
Going to rehab for looks, to look good, to bring the sentence down.
On his sentencing, to be honest with you, I don't think it's going to matter.
Your Honor, I'm going to rehab to show that I want to change my life around. And he goes into rehab. You make good contacts for when you get out.
Crime he committed, it's going to be sentenced the same. It's not going to
It's
matter.
like these guys. We Dave and I'm sure I ran into them in prison. I'm sure you did too. The guys that were getting short, they transfer them to prison camps. These guys have been doing multi-decade sentences. They've been in for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. They're old men now. And, they're in there because, they raped and murdered 17 girls, or some heinous, could put babies in microwaves. They put incredible crimes. And then you see them and they're walking around with the little round glasses and the sweater, and they're carrying a Bible, and you're like, can I get at them?
That's what I've always said. That
right.
If you're looking for God, go to prison, because everyone finds him there.
Exactly.
That's probably why he doesn't answer my prayers. He doesn't answer my prayers because he's not here. He's in jail.
You know, when I was in there, I was only in there for 5 months. Obviously, I don't pretend to be a
So you didn't have time to fall in love, is what you're saying?
Yeah, no time. So
No meaningful.
I went to a couple of the they usually have guys that are coming in like preachers that'll do like sermons and stuff like that. So I went to a couple of these things with some of the guys that were were very into religion, and the longer you're in there, the more you get into religion. And it was the people who go in there. A lot of these guys are former like drug addicts or criminals that became preachers. And I think it really is. It's something that helps these guys get through their sentence, because it does give them. First of all, you got someone talking to you who can understand where you're coming from. And
someone has empathy for you.
Yeah, there's empathy there. But you know what? I think it really helps these guys, because you know what? When you're in there, you can feel helpless really easily. And I think that if you can be connected to something, God, spiritual, whatever you want to call it,
your cellmate.
It does, and I think the problem is that a lot of guys are not in long enough. And if you're in long enough, I think sometimes it does change the way you think. I do believe.
No, it does. It changes you. If you're in long enough, it will change you, Dave.
No, there's a lot of people who go in as badass guys, and when they come out, some of them are still badass, but some of them are like changed. They really do change.
When they come out and start killing again, they just go and the church
I'm not
and ask for forgiveness and start afresh.
I'm not talking about killers. I wasn't in with killers. I'm talking about people who just made bad decisions, drug dealers, and people who stole money and stuff like that.
They still come out. They sell drugs. They just give 25% to the church, so they feel better.
The thing about church and prison, though, for some guys, I mean, I went a couple times too just to see what was going on up there. I had a lot of music, So, and the way it is run and administered, it really is for a lot of people an hour that you're not in prison anymore. You're gone. You're somewhere else. You get absorbed in what's going on, and I remember one of them that there was this great pastor. He was this big, giant guy, and with the cool suit and the shiny shoes, and at the end of the whole thing, he says, "How many?" like that, and it's like that means how many more days do you have left? And guys are yelling out, 4,900. And then everybody does that, and then he said, I felt the spirit here tonight, and like everybody was like screaming and yelling, and you could just tell for that brief moment, they just weren't locked up, and I think
everyone's yelling that 4,000. John down the front goes 2. They're like, fucking asshole. I'd only go to prison church if I heard the Catholic priest was in town, because then might get lucky.
Where I was at Morgantown, West Virginia, there was no fence around it was like you were on like a high school campus, and you could literally see the road. I mean, you could just, and there were guys that lost their mind and just walked left, walked out of there. Obviously, they catch you, and then you wind up going.
You get time added. You get time added for escaping.
You get time added, but then they ship you.
They take you to a different place, which is behind the wall. Yeah. Well, I was in the same kind of thing. I was in Boron.
Yeah.
Out in the high desert outside of LA, between LA and Vegas.
No
locks on the door.
You're like, I can't believe I'm stuck here and I can't leave.
Look at you. You're being the one with no fence. You're being no locks and no doors. When I went to San Francisco, I went to Alcatraz. I've been to Alcatraz. I've been to the hardcore one.
The first 9 months of my sentence, I spent locked up at MDC downtown LA. So
that's terrible.
They took me over on this boat. I had to stay there all day and walk around this island, and they locked me in cells and shit. I done more hard time in one day than Dave did in bloody 5 months. With no fence. That was a shit tour. The tour guide sucked. He bored me to fucking death. One day on Alcatraz was worse than your 5 months.
Victor Martinez did some hard time in Rikers Island. Yep. What did he do? 90 days or something like that. But he knew everyone there from the streets, so he had a ball. No one else would want to go there. All right, I got a question. Someone wants to know Rachel McLeish or Corey Everson.
For what, a threesome?
No, who would you rather be with here?
Who is the best Miss Olympia? Who do I want to fuck?
No, who would you want to F you?
I prefer dark hair.
Rachel. Neither one are married.
No, I'm saying if you weren't married. And this is
If you wanted to OJ Simpson her.
If I had to choose one, I would probably choose Rachel.
All right. Lee? Rachel or
Yeah,
Corey?
I said Rachel. Rachel, my wife's name's Rachel, so Rachel.
There you
Dark
go.
hair.
You don't have to change the colors.
Dark hair is much better over blonde.
I agree.
Someone put up a good picture. I think John Hansen put up a good picture of Rachel and
Matt Mendenhall.
Matt Mendenhall. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a great shot. So good. Yeah.
That's what made me think of it too. But
The only blonde, like Tonya.
Rachel ruined. I'm doing the Blackman voice. Sorry, Rachel ruined Mendenhall.
Tonya Knight was a pretty blonde, but I think one of the prettiest blonde bodybuilders was Anya Langer.
Or Tanya.
Yeah, but I think Anya had a sort of because she was Norway or Sweden had that.
Yeah. Yep.
There's Rachel and Mendenhall. Who's that in the back? Is that David Durr back there? I don't think so, right?
Let's see.
The guy all the way in the back.
The guy with the glasses, that looks like Jimmy Hoffa.
Boy, those were the days, huh?
Yeah.
What was that, like 82?
Probably.
Where's Matt's hand? Where's his other hand?
1986 NPC Nationals. How about that?
Wow. What year?
86.
86?
86.
I was 13 years old competing in Australia in 1986.
The funny thing is, he's like, I'm 13 and I was competing, John. He was still competing. That's the funny thing.
Right. And winning shows.
And winning shows.
Yes.
With his mother.
Yeah, all that says to me is I need a life.
My brother. I went to the party with my brother.
My brother. I still am trying to figure out why he thought that was funny. He
thought it was very witty, right? And he brought his brother.
But I mean, it's the exact opposite. It's so depressing. I mean, like
that was his only friend. Yeah.
You get sent by a girl to go get guys to bring back to a house full of girls, and I would go find my best friend. I wouldn't find my brother. I mean, like what, you know?
He scored points with his brother there.
And look where it got him.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we got the, I guess the Arnold is the first show of the year, which I can't believe it. But if you think about it, it's coming up in what, like 8 weeks or something like that?
Yeah. When's the Olympics?
What?
December. You got a long
December. Following December, yeah. We got the long.
We got a ways to go.
And of course, what's his name?
I want to know.
I
want to know who's flying out the Muscle Beach in May to come see me. That's what
I sure would like to, but I don't want to get a vaccination to go do it.
Yeah, me neither. We got to send Jimmy the Bull.
You'll have to drive. Get on the bike.
We'll send Jimmy the Bull, and I got to find a cameraman to film the two of those guys. John.
Can you come by boat? Yeah, that's what I said to Dave. When I go out there, I want to bring Jimmy out for a couple of days. Jimmy can come down. Then Jimmy and I go to the gym, but then I take Jimmy to like Disneyland or Universal, and we just hang out for the day going on rides. Could you imagine?
We'll get arrested
Jimmy?
because Jimmy won't have a mask on. He'll be cursing.
I want to see. Oh, yes, he will. I'll make him wear a Mickey Mouse mask at Disneyland with the whole thing and the big mouse ears. You can just see Jimmy with the big mouse ears on his head. It'll be great.
Yeah, Jimmy won't wear a mask. Someone will say something.
Yes,
rude. It's funny because Jimmy, even today, even at 60 years old, Jimmy does look very dangerous. Like, I mean, he's not the kind of guy that I would like want to fuck with, right? I mean, he still looks like he's a tough dude, but people always fuck with him. It's the weirdest thing. He has people saying the rudest shit to him all the time, and I'm like, what's wrong with people? Why would you start with a guy that looks like that? I could see starting with a little nebbishy looking guy who's wearing glasses like Blackman. Why would you start with someone like Jimmy the Bull? It doesn't make sense.
They probably these days they want you to get hit. They want someone to hit them so they can sue you. That's what they want.
That's what it is. It's like they figure, well, if I beat him up, I look like a big shot because I beat up this big guy, and he beats me up, I'll just sue him. That's all.
Yeah.
I would run a credit score on him first.
What'd you say, John?
I would run a FICO score on him first before I.
No, but you know what? People pick on Jimmy. They say rude shit to him all the time. I don't know why. Remember the guy in the bar was making the comment about they thought Jimmy was picking up his wife or something like that, or his girlfriend.
Oh yeah. Well,
start with him. You got to be nuts.
Have you ever been to a bar with Jimmy the Bull?
I'm saying he's very dangerous. I wouldn't start with him. He's the last guy I would want to start a fight with.
I've been to a
when he
bar. I've
starts
been to a bar
shrinking.
with Jimmy. I've been to a bar with Jimmy when he goes to what's that one near his house, the Mexican place. But when he's there, I'm at home on the couch and Jimmy's there eating. But I sit with him because we're FaceTiming, and I watch him enjoy his margaritas. And as the margaritas keep going, Jimmy just sort of goes. He becomes
He's a fun drunk. He's really not a nasty drunk. Not anymore, at least.
He's
but
dangerous. No, he's dangerous. You got to follow him around.
I know he's dangerous, but why are people starting with him? If all you got to do is be nice to him, and he's like the happiest guy in the bar.
Some people have a death wish. I don't know, but Jimmy the Bull. I'm not afraid of too many people, but I'll tell you what, Jimmy the Bull is way at the top of that list. You know,
he's still very dangerous. People don't.
He's dangerous, and he's unpredictable. So.
And he's going to be even more dangerous because when I was speaking to him today, he's going out to buy his karate pants.
Oh, his kick pants.
You know, he's going to get. John, he's going to get hurt. He's going to like throw his back out or something like that, doing one of these things. Because everyone now is like, Jimmy, can you kick the tape on the ceiling like you used to?
The drywall.
He's going to try that. He's going to fall at his coccyx and break his coccyx, and he won't be able to. He'll be in a wheelchair at the vet's hospital for fucking the next 6 months.
But one of the things I remember about him that stuck out in my mind is how unbelievably stiff and unlimber he was.
No, I don't know how he kicks.
Remember he's like on the phone. He's like this. He
can't bend his elbow. That's why I don't know how he does all these crazy kicks and stuff. But you know what it is? His upper body is glued, like cemented together, but his legs are very limber. Because
it's like what's his name? What's that character? Gumby. Remember Gumby?
Well, his kicks. You know, we were watching Frady end of that drywall tape. I mean, he's just like snap, 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 snap. He keeps.
We got to get Jimmy to do like a celebrity boxing match against another. Like maybe he could fight Mr. G.
How about him fighting Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I don't know.
He could fight Danny Bonaducci.
There you go, Danny Bonaducci.
Or Joey Buttafuoco. How about that one? That might be a good one. Hold on. A matter of fact, you remember Joey Buttafuoco's brother came into our studio in New York.
That's right.
You remember?
Yes.
And he almost got into a fight with Jimmy. He started with Jimmy. Remember?
Yeah. Oh,
that's right.
Oh, let's just keep it going.
Stir it up again. And he didn't like that Jimmy was saying that he beat some arm wrestling champion, and he's like, I take offense to that.
Yeah.
And he was in Jimmy's face. I thought they were going to go at it, you know?
Well, just send him a message and say, Jimmy hasn't forgot about you, cunt. He's still talking about that time you come into the studio and get him riled up again.
I got to find that clip, John, from him and Joey Buttafuoco's brother.
Yeah.
Going at it.
I remember we had some characters through those doors, man, at the studio.
Remember that was the...
There was one night when, remember the Rescue Inc. guys, we were going to have them on, right? The bikers.
That's when we did the skit. We did the skit with Moses and then Gandhi.
But the setup is they were very apprehensive to come on our show because it was like steroids and bodybuilding and
no, John, they used steroids and they were bodybuilders, but they had benefactors who were funding them that were very conservative.
Very conservative. So they're starting to arrive. There's 4 or 5 of them there, and one of the ringleader comes in, and then he opens the door, looks in the studio, and Mr. G is dressed like Moses, Jimmy
is dressed like Gandhi.
Gandhi's sitting on top of the He goes, oh my God. And they all left.
He's like, we gotta leave. They left.
There's some dogs that they rescue somebody, tattoos or something.
Because Gandhi was there.
You know what
Jimmy was there too, right?
Yes, Jimmy was there. Oh God,
he was
I told Jimmy he's going to have to cave and get vaccinated because my plan for Jimmy is this year I'm going to try bring him to Australia for like 7 days and take him around Australia to all the wild animal places so we can see Jimmy with a big kangaroo. There's this one place up here not far from me where you go and you can feed the kangaroos. If you go there in the morning, they're fucking like hungry as shit. If you've got a bag of food, the big males come up and they fucking grab it and they start fighting and trying to kick you. I want to see Jimmy in this situation where the big roos are fighting over the bag of food with Jimmy in the middle.
If you bring Jimmy to Australia, the only thing you guys are going to be doing is drinking. That's all he's going to want to do there.
Although I think he would smack a kangaroo.
Maybe for the kid. Maybe for a few hits on YouTube, he might do it.
They're mean, aren't they? Like they're pretty.
Yeah,
big.
they said they're not, they said they can turn quick because I've been feeding me like, oh, that's nice. And all of a sudden, whack, and then another one will come over. Then they'll start fighting.
Were you there, John, when we had Eric, the animal guy, on? When he brought the snake? I don't think you were there. We had this guy on. John Scuderi got him for me. He was. I was
there when Scuderi brought the big frog and
Scuderi got me this other guy, Eric. He was a really nice guy, Eric, the animal guy or whatever his name. He did birthday parties. He had big snakes and alligators and all kinds of crazy shit. And he brought it into the studio. And I was asking him a lot of prying questions, and I was like, what does your girlfriend think of it? You got all these animals, crazy animals in your house, and he's like, well, I'm gay. And he had never. That was the first time he'd ever admitted that to anyone, like in an open forum. Like I had to. It's like he came out on the show. We got him so relaxed. He was having such a good time. The guy.
Was that big Eric from Venice?
No.
Oh God.
Wasn't big Eric from Venice gay? Didn't he get shot for a shot?
Eric Mosley, the guy who was spotting Jimmy on the bench.
Well, there's just to be a guy called Eric in Venice. He's a big guy.
Eric Mosley.
And he ended up got shot somehow.
He got shot. Yeah, he got shot. He when Jimmy benched 1,000, he was spotting him.
Wasn't he gay?
I don't think so. I don't know.
He just seen it, didn't he? He just seen it.
He was rather flamboyant. He was an artist.
Yeah.
So
that's probably why. Because
people always
used to think that of Aaron.
Was Ted Dixon, and we've talked about him. Ted Dixon was the best. There was no one more entertaining than Ted Dixon in that gym.
He was the gay man's gay man.
He acted like that. What's his name? The black guy on that old TV on the movie Mannequin. What was his name? Hollywood. That's like Ted Dixon. He just floated around the gym. Mm-hmm.
Men Dixon's theory on men is that
it doesn't come up to me like he's coming to the gym with his glasses on. Right? I'll be talking to Ted in the Golds, right? Oh yeah, I'll be talking to Ted at Golds. Yeah, so he's talking to me this way. Then he goes, Lee, I could turn him, Lee. I could turn him. That's how he would talk. He would just go into these things like, then they walk past and he'd be talking to me.
He told me when I met him, he's like, all men are gay. I said, no, I don't tend to disagree with that. He goes, no, they are.
That's his fantasy. I think that's his fantasy. But I still said that I was very hurt the day he said, Lee, yes, I'm gay and that, but you don't have to worry, Lee. I'll never try nothing with you because I know your father's gay. I feel more like your father.
He turned you. Well, Ted liked the very masculine, guys, right? Isn't that what he went for?
I don't know. I never talked to him about.
Lee was too much of a pretty boy. I don't think he liked that look too much.
Well, that's why I didn't understand though, because I'd always hear for this gay for pay, and as a pretty boy as you say I was, I never once got asked for gay for pay, so I want to know what the fuck was up. Here I got.
You were at World Gym training with no music. No one even had access to you. That's why.
Oh, is that what it was? But what about when I went to the firehouse?
Maybe Ted told everyone to lay off you.
Yeah, he said he's mine.
That might have been it. He might have put the word out.
That's Chris.
My boy.
Dickerson's boy.
I used to like it though when, I said Ed's a great guy, but sometimes I used to wonder when, you go out to these steakhouses with Ed or so and they walk in, are there other gay people there? And they're like, look who Ed's got tonight.
Ed had the best array of people.
Ed had bragging rights.
Yeah.
That Lowry's steakhouse was great, wasn't it? That Lowry's place.
Good place.
What would you say was before we sign off today, it's getting a little late. What was the best place to eat in Venice, would you think, Lee, that you've gone to?
I used to love the place. I actually went there. It was steak and seafood. Where the firehouse was, it was on the Kookaroo side, about 3 blocks down, called the Galley. I used to love going there. Great steak and seafood and that.
Like high quality.
And there's a place at Playa. Yeah, really good. But there's a place at Playa del Rey called the Black Whale.
Yeah,
it had really good.
Up on the hill there.
I won't tell you what happened there, but I really almost got abused, and someone might have spat my food. Let's just say the waitress come around, and she was. and black. And I said, well, I know where the restaurant got the name from, and she's standing right there.
Oh,
Let's just say she didn't appreciate it.
Today, they would have sent you back to Australia if you said that today. That's for sure.
Well, this was a long time. This was back in the early 90s before BLM. You know, you could still take a joke back then. But, you know, when the food did come and my friend ordered the same meal, I did swap just in case it, you know, just in case mine had extra spinning in it.
I like, you know, I went to someone took me to a place. My friend Bobby Strom took me to a place in Manhattan Beach. I think it was called Manhattan Beach Sushi. Does that sound right?
Oh, sushi, come on. Sushi.
We went to a great place there in Manhattan Beach. I think it was like all you can eat. This is back in the 90s when there wasn't a lot of all you can eat places.
Yeah, it was new then.
It was freaking awesome, man, this place.
Oh, you got
Aunt Kizzy's, actually.
Aunt Kizzy's was good at Marina Del Rey. Remember Aunt Kizzy's?
Southern food.
But then there was, remember down after the Ironman, when the Ironman was Redondo Beach, remember everyone used to go to the Rocky Cola Cafe?
Rocky Colas.
Yep. That was really good. They had like healthy. They had like a bodybuilder's menu as well as the.
Rocky Colas was like a diner. It was like a 50s diner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to always love if I trained at Sports Club LA there at the Marina Pacific in the same building as your training, you can look in, or if you're in the cafe looking out, it was Ruby's Diner. Remember Ruby's? Shooby on Doobie down to Ruby's. So I could actually train. Then I'd go into Ruby's and get my burger and shake, and then watch people train while I'm eating my burger and shake. It was great.
Ruby's was like Rocky Cola, same kind of motif.
Yeah, it was good though. I love those cafes like that. And there's one on there's another cafe on 3rd Street. I can't remember what it could have been. Johnny Rockets, but I like all those type of
Johnny
places,
Rockets,
you know.
Really good one.
And then I'd go into the 3rd Street Mall and watch those young girls making lemonade at the hot dog on the stick one, and.
There was a tiny hole in the wall in West LA called Apple Pan.
I'm sure there's a few holes in the wall in. Actually, I went there.
West LA, not West Hollywood, West LA.
Yeah, actually, I went to that one, and they have like where they make the really big like servings of stuff. If there's like a piece of pie, it was massive. I think I went there.
Yeah,
even they make. Is that the one that made the sandwiches too? And the sandwiches are like
big giant
Reuben sandwiches are massive.
Sandwiches. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I went there once. Yeah.
Great pie.
LA has that LA area has the best food. Like if you were into eating healthy stuff,
and I did.
The food is just better.
Healthy. What the fuck?
I don't know why.
I went to Pink's too. You ever go to Pink's Hot Dog? You had to go there just to say you went.
Pink's and then Tail of the Pup.
You could take Jimmy to Pink's, Lee, because he loves hot dogs. You know that.
Yeah.
Pink's had the chili dog. That was the best chili dog in town.
Jimmy, you know what I used to love? That Santa
Jimmy
Monica.
puts the works on his dogs too.
Right. And what about Randy's Donuts?
Yeah, I went there a few times. But I used to go there when I used to go to Joe Gold's workshop. But then I used to go to Denny's. But then I found just across from Denny's Norm's Diner.
Norm's Diner.
Oh, it was cheap and good. You could get like your salad as an entree and bread. Then you get your T-bone steak and dessert for like $6.95.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. $6.95. My mum come over and she couldn't believe we went to Norm's every day. I was like, great.
The food in LA, especially the bodybuilding food, at least back in the 90s and early 2000s, was very reasonably priced. I know now it's crazy, but it was
plentiful. You could go anywhere and eat.
Even the Firehouse was. They gave you a lot of food.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Firehouse, the
multi-grain pancakes. And that. The only thing with the Firehouse was it seemed like every 6 months the portion stayed the same, but the price kept going up and going up.
Because it became a tourist trap. That's why.
Well, they started with
and then it became
was the half of the breast, and then they sliced it in half.
And
then they sliced the halves in half, and then pretty soon it was.
And then I lost all respect. Then I lost all respect when they brought out the Bob's Bowl. I'm like, why are you making a bowl after Bob Ciccarello? This place is going to shit now. Jesus.
I'll tell you one thing. The first time I've ever eaten an ostrich burger was at the Firehouse. I had never even heard of ostrich burgers back in the 90s.
Well, I used to like, what's its name? Fresh to Go around the back was great. They used to have the buffalo patties and really good food they'd make there at Fresh to Go near Max Muscle. It was really good.
Yeah, it is. But as the name implies.
They used to make like all the chicken meatballs and all the other stuff.
Yeah. They were good.
Didn't Stridham have a store there before Max Muscle?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, crazy weird. Then it became Max Muscle, and then On the main street, you had Body Alive and Hot Skins, and there was some other
That was
one.
the golden era, man.
And then my friend George, Samir Banu's cousin George, has LA Urban Wear, which is the LA Urban supplement store and all that there on the corner across from Shartsy's.
I remember.
And then
that was his relative. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then if you go to Shartsy's, you always had to go see Sparky. You know, little Chinese guy at Sparky's Yogurt. Hey, what do you want today? Sparky's
yogurt.
Once that non-fat yogurt come out.
Arnold own that place?
Shotzi's was Arnold's place.
Yeah, Shartsy's is Arnold's, but at the front of the same building was Sparky's Yogurt.
Yep.
He's a real friendly Chinese guy. There, he's there 24/7 working. What do you want today? I'll get the biggest ice cream because, of course, it's fat-free. So and I'll put all the toppings on it, and I've never lost any weight.
All right, now that I'm starved at 1 in the morning, we'll wrap this up. But, well, you know what? I'm hope you guys had a great New Year's. We kind of just laid low and chilled out. Pretty exciting, but
this show is brought to you by.
Thank you, Lee. Lee, I will say one thing. If you send Lee like a little gift, and I've had other people send him stuff, he's very, very appreciative of it. And that's
well, the thing is, the reason I don't. No, but the thing is, a lot of guys
take for granted when you send them stuff. Oh, I'm a big name.
Yeah, but
guy.
the thing is, too, look, trust me, if Dave sent me this, like this, because I love the Fiberlize, if Dave sent me this and it didn't work, I'd probably, the first time I got to go, hey, Dave, I got the stuff, thanks for that, and you'd never see it again. But because it actually works and I like it, that's why I keep showing it. So you little fuckers out there in the chat room, go out and buy this shit because it works.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to make Leah like a coupon code, increase coupon code or something like that.
Yeah.
But, anyway, I want to just say I appreciate
coupon code CUNT for
CUNT20.
Actually, how's this? The Northern Territory, right? They got in trouble for it. They still got stickers and T-shirts. Whereas, someone would say, "I'll see you in Sydney." Well, Northern Territory, like New South Wales, is NSW. Northern Territory is just NT. So these tourism people up there just come out with "See you in NT." So on the shirt, they had like bumper stickers, and people are like, "Oh, you can't sell this," and they made a fortune up there. Tourists going up there buying it. See you in the NT, and
a lot of people ask me about Tony Atlas. Tony Atlas, believe it or not,
I think he's dead.
No, he lives right near Cristocito.
Really?
How old is he? He'd have to be old, wouldn't he?
I think he's in his probably 70 or something, right?
Got to be close to 80.
The one that used to be in the magazine, kick sand in your face. That one that was in the magazines.
No. This is Tony Atlas. He was the wrestler.
You're thinking of Charles Atlas.
Oh, well, they're related, aren't they? It's all an Atlas. It's like,
I think
when was the last time you looked into
I think
Atlas?
Chris Cito can make it happen, so we'll have to try to do that.
Yeah, get him on the show.
He still trains. Chris said he's still big.
I'll bet.
Remember in Atlas, now you talk about it when you be driving down the road, you got to keep your finger on the Atlas and AD 576, and you got to join the roads up as you're driving down the road to see where
John,
you're going.
The problem is you and I are falling apart here because it's 1 a.m. Lee is guzzling his coffee as we're doing the show, and he's just getting.
I can talk for another 2 hours, guys.
It's middle of the afternoon for him.
It's 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. It's getting nappy time. I've been up since. That's the thing here. I got up at 4 o'clock. I said I'm going to get up early, get my wife's coffee ready for her. So I get up at 4. I'm doing the coffee. She's normally up at 4. I'm like, her alarm hasn't gone off. I better wake her up. So I go in and wake her up. Tap tap. I said the alarm didn't go off. You got to get up for work. And I start at 7 o'clock today. I'm like, so I just went outside at 4:15, did some cardio, came in, had breakfast, took her to work.
He must be the worst guy to live with, John, because he gets up so freaking early. This guy,
I can't handle that, man. I cannot handle.
It's like,
and
I want to come to visit John
40 times already. By the time 7 o'clock rolls around, so he has nothing left to do.
When I come to visit you and John, I'm going to get up in the morning and be out there with like the thing in the military, the bugle.
We got roosters in the neighborhood. Believe me, they'll get you up before that.
I'm up before the roosters. The roosters are like, fuck that Lee. Fuck it up.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
we just bought the new top of the line Tempur-Pedic mattress today. Today.
So isn't it amazing the things that get you happy, John?
Well, you spent the 30 of your life in the damn thing, so you might as well. But now, how I just know how difficult it's going to be to get me up out of that thing.
Oh yeah,
first couple of mornings.
You know, when I weighed 300 pounds and I would buy a new mattress, within like 2 weeks, there'd be a complete dip in the thing. I don't care how many springs per square inch they said was in there and how much, how hard the mattress was. There was, within 2 weeks, there was a freaking depression.
Well, Dave, I learned today that most mattresses are only good for up to 230 pounds. And if you want to, be a heavier person than that, they have to actually, you need a heavier duty mattress.
I believe that.
I still have my water bed. I used to have a water bed. I'd never turned the heater on. So when I laid on it, it was just cold.
I hated
just like
water
freezing cold. And then to get out of it, because it had the sides, I'd go like this and give it a big push, and I'd ride the wave and fall off the side of it.
How do you get, Lee? Let me ask you a question. How would you have sex in a water bed? It's got to be the most uncomfortable thing of all time.
It's the motion of the ocean. Just rock.
Groove to the moves. Yeah.
And the good thing is too, if you give her one good one, like bam, you can just ride the other four. So yeah, it's less work.
The bed does the work for you.
Exactly.
Inertia.
So
it's called inertia. Yeah, inertia.
Right. You play the inertia game.
Yeah.
All right. Look, I want to just say something nice to you guys. I want to thank you for being not only my friends and doing the show, but just always being there. It's like we got a place to show up every week and be friends with each other. And we're going on season 13 of Heavy Muscle Radio. John and I started this in 2009, and we're the longest running radio / podcast / TV show in bodybuilding, and it's pretty amazing that we're still going strong. And we still
I feel like a ring-in. I just turn up anyway. Here I am here, and then John and I had the shotgun show. Then we got in trouble, and then I'm back somewhere else. I just pop.
Heavy Muscle Radio is the one continuous thing that people can depend on.
I'm just like that dog. I'm like that dog, the littlest hobo or Benji, that just goes from town to town helping someone and then moves on. And just
we're like Cheers. Sometimes people just want to go someplace where everyone knows their name, and they can just hang out. That's what it started as. Cheers.
It's a highlight of my week.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's wrap this up. And as we've said for 13 years straight, with Heavy Muscle Radio, guys,
the truth hurts.
The truth hurts.
Does it really hurt? I don't know.
Your finger in a car door.
Bend over. Real show me
the truth. That's really what it amounts to. All right, we'll see you guys. We'll see you next week.
If you tell the truth, then you're controversial. If you tell the truth, you're controversial.
Controversial.
Contra Costa.
Right. See you next week.
You just demonetized us. You just demonetized us in the last 30